everyone! If you play Furcadia, you probably know me as the Shadow Rider. If you're instead thinking, what's Furcadia? Well, you've been missing out on quite possibly the most genius and underappreciated creative engine in internet history. Furcadia is an MMORPG where you can build your own worlds. You can design the map layout, program it with a super easy plain English coding language, and you can even draw your own graphics. And if you don't consider yourself to be artistic, you can even download graphics made by others. Here, I'm going to be showing you around one of my very first worlds, which Furcadia calls a dream. I made this dream in 2010 and it's called At World's End. At World's End was born from the nostalgia of many of my favorite dreams that had come and gone over the years, and obviously my undying love for Pirates of the Caribbean. Ultimately, this dream turned into my own unique creation entirely. First, we will see the roleplay rooms themed to each of the 4 seasons, and each room has a unique activity where you can get special items. This is the winter area. Here you can find mushrooms that light up when you step on them. Here's these bones that can be used later, and also berry bushes and grapevines which drop seeds that you can plant and grow.
You look closely at the strange vine and notice it has seeds on it. You take one, wondering what would happen if you planted it in dirt. You eat the berry, happily licking the gooey blue sweet goodness from your face. Oh god.
Next we'll be exploring the fall area. This is where you can chase around bouncing bunnies and catch fish.
Devour the rabbit.
It appears the fishing mechanism is broken. Looking at the code, it seems like I accidentally deleted it, but fishing was a thing. I believe you used to be able to use on top of these silhouettes and a fish would appear in your inventory, and that was fishing. Moving on to the summer area. There are lots of things to do here. There's more fish to catch, you can collect balloons, and you can collect coconuts which will grow into palm trees if you plant them. And there's also this guy, a secret villain named Farga. If you touch him while holding an item, he'll trap you until you give it to him. But if you're smart, you can also use any of the teleport commands to get away from him. Lastly, we have the spring area. This is where you can find chickens, and if you fancy a game of checkers, this place has you covered. If you go up to this nest, you can collect an egg. If you sit on the egg, it'll hatch, and then you can eat the chicken.
You pick up a small egg from the nest. The egg hatched when you sat on it. You stepped on a chicken. You spit out a few feathers and finish eating your chicken.
And now for the main feature of this dream, the den building. Each roleplay room has an entrance to the underground. When you enter the underground, you'll notice some new buttons appear at the bottom of your player window. Dig, clear, and rock. Click them while facing the dirt wall and you can dig yourself a den. you've dug out your den, you can decorate it. Where do you get the decorations from? By growing mushrooms, of course. Different colors of mushrooms will get you different items. To start, go into the shop. You'll notice a crack in the wall. This will take you to the wolf who will give you spores for your first mushrooms.
Greetings, I am Grian, guardian of the sun. I really wish I had a juicy bone right now. I get it myself, but I can't go into the dark or I will lose energy. Would you get one for me? I will reward you.
When you give her a bone, she will give you a random primary color of mushroom spores. Red, blue, or yellow. Just like the berries and grapes, plant them in the garden patch and they'll grow. Primary colored mushrooms aren't the only colors you can get. You can take these colors and trade them for more.
A mushroom? That's what the dust is? A tiny bit disappointing. I was hoping for something better. Sorry, I have no use for mushrooms, but you could try to find Talum. I heard she lives in the fall area. Look for a glowing hole by the pond. Ooh, a mushroom? You know what? Sometimes when I leave two different colored mushrooms together for too long, their dust mixes into a new color. The only problem is the mushrooms are no good after. Hey, if you bring me two new mushrooms of different colors, you can have the dust. Just drop them on the tiles on each side of me.
And if you guess that Talum gives you spores of the two primary colors mixed together, you'd be right. Now that you have primary and secondary colored mushrooms, you can trade them for even more variants through a portal in the winter area.
Hello. I see you have a mushroom. Did you know that mushroom dust is not only created in the sun realm, but it's in the space realm too? The only problem with that is, since empty space is so dark, space dust lasts any color. Boy, do I miss those colors. If you bring me two complementary colors, I'll see what I can give you in return.
When you give complementary colors to Farshin, such as purple and yellow for instance, you'll randomly be given black or white spores. Now that you have primary colors, secondary colors, and black and white mushrooms, there is still one last wolf you can trade to for by far the widest spectrum of colors in the dream. You can find them in the summer area.
Oh, you have a mushroom. I can do something special with those. Bring me any colored mushroom and a non-colored mushroom, and I will use my water powers to fuse them together. Place the colored mushroom on the darker tile, and a black or white mushroom on the lighter tile, and the result will be a lighter or darker version of the colored mushroom. And that concludes mushrooms. Now, remember our den from earlier? Here's how we decorate it. Talk to the shop wolves and they'll give you a choice of items in the color of your mushroom. Let's get decorating!
animals and crops harvested earlier can be used to get special items, and even change the floor of your den. And now let's call it done. I really hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of my favorite dream that I made in my childhood. And don't forget to check out Furcadia for yourself, where you might even see it in person. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone!